firsthand from the power couple who's built a healthy relationship from major and minor issues
the good, the bad, the ugly,
to triumphs of the family unit.
In this day and age, you need somebody by your side.
Utilize proven techniques and strategies to help your relationship and family thrive to the next level.
You have to compromise.
This is the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast. Once again, I am in my home studio. We are in our home studio, and I am sitting next to the beautiful Alicia Meeks.
Hey, hey.
Hey, it's been a little while, but we back. And y'all got to know we've learned a few things on the way out or on our sabbatical. Because everybody needs them a break. Everybody needs them a little R&R. The Meeks don't sleep. We do a lot. We take care of a lot.
A whole lot.
And we try to implement a lot. Execution is worship. That's what it is. Today we wanted to talk about what did you call it?
Habits
of
happy marriages.
Happy marriages.
So, first of all, I just think that this is a topic because sometimes we need to, just like if you are trying to become successful, many times you may follow the habits of successful people, such as you may wake up earlier in the morning because a lot of successful people wake up and take advantage of those hours when other people may be sleeping. So that's one of the habits of successful people. They get up early sometimes. I don't know about all the time, but sometimes they get up early and take advantage of their day. And then also have some type of morning routine. And then they also make lists for the day, whether it's digitally in your phone or if you write it, and you make sure you knock out those things you want to do. And if you see that list in your phone or even if you write it, you're more apt to knock it out versus not. Because like me, if I don't write it down, I'll forget. Like, oh, shoot, I wanted to do this, because the day just, it flies by. So if you have like a list, then you can knock it out. So when you think about those type of habits, then the same is true for marriages. So I definitely read a lot about and listen to sermons about marriage because I want to have a happy marriage. I want to constantly work on my marriage. I want to constantly become a better wife. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not perfect. And I just read a lot of different stuff whenever I have the opportunity. So some of the habits of happy couples, let's talk about one at a time. So habits of happy couples are communication. They communicate with each other. Talk about things. Don't let, the night fall on their raft, so you just want to be direct and have those hard conversations. Sometimes it's not always easy, but it has to be said, you feel me? So yeah, sometimes just have that conversation and go into it with a clean heart, a good spirit, so it can be well received. And try not to use those you because you. I don't want to say because you. No. I feel this way when you do this. It makes me feel. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the ways you can use I statements and just don't. What I hate is when people harbor something in them And then way down the line, cause I didn't even say nothing. Like, what? Well, why are you holding it on? Like, say something. That's how you feel. Like, say something about it. You have to communicate. You have to talk about it.
But communication is a gray area. Like everybody doesn't have a safe place to land when it comes to like communication. Like you know the the idea of communication in marriage or just regular relationships is that, oh, I'm gonna bring an issue to you and you're gonna adhere, you're gonna listen, and you're gonna conform, or you're gonna make some changes. And the truth is, in marriage it just don't happen like that. Like it just could be that I just don't agree with your ideologies, your theologies, your psychological nothing. So the reason why I feel that people, when it comes to communication, that they harbor things is because in their mind, as the a counselor has told us one time, like you think negative thoughts about your negative thoughts, and also you what happens is you don't feel like the spouse or your spouse will be receptive of the things that you have to say. Ideally it would be nice, and it will be in good practice, and it takes practice to get to a place where, hey, I want to talk to you about something, and the spouse has the obligation, in my opinion, to turn on their listening ear and turn down their defensive mechanism, right? Turn up the I want my job is to help you and not to be defensive about what you're saying. And that's a learning lesson even for me. Like if I'm presented an issue that my wife has to me, I have to first say, honor her to say that, okay, I'm glad that she brought an issue to me because she feels that I can fix it. Because a person that harbors things, they don't feel like you will, or you capable of fixing an issue.
Yeah, that's true.
So when someone brings something to you, my first thought is that let me honor her that she even brought this issue to me because she feel like I can fix it. She feel like I can make the adjustments. But when somebody harbors, like that's a marital flaw that needs to be looked at. It ain't so much the other person. It's why don't my spouse, my wife, my husband want to talk to me? Why would they want to hold something from me? I'm able to receive. So that's an issue that maybe that the spouse need to fix within themselves. Like what's wrong? That's a bigger issue. Why did you hold this from me?
But regardless of what, if I have an issue, I would just want to say something. Like I would just want to get it out and talk about it, and I'm not gonna put it on somebody else as to the reason why I didn't say something and voice my concern. I'm still gonna voice my concern. Like I just think it's
Yeah, but I think
necessary.
that just haphazardly throwing out, you know, your mind or throwing out your feelings just just
No,
just
you
for the
could
sake
think
of
about it before you say it.
right. But I'm just saying, just throwing it out for the sake of, oh, I said it. But if the
No.
person, if your spouse isn't receptive to hear you, you're speaking to a brick wall. Like your spouse has to be in a place. Like some people don't harbor things just because they feel like it's not the right time. My spouse is dealing with a lot of other
Okay,
issues.
I understand it's
My
not the
spouse
right
is
time.
my spouse has a lot of pressure on them on other things, and the issue that I'm bringing to them, could this issue be a me thing? Could it be my own emotions, right? And it takes some time to figure that out. It takes some time to assess that it could just be you and the changes that's going on with you.
Hmm.
But to just blurt out, oh, I'm feeling this way, oh,
Not
you
blurt
didn't,
out. I don't think at any time anyone should just blurt it out. I think you should have conversation, adult conversation, and just, let your spouse know how you feel. So today we're talking about habits of happy couples because we all want to have a happy marriage. We all want to have a happy relationship. We all want to have a happy life. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not, it is not always that way. And so sometimes you have to be intentional about becoming happy because your spouse can't make you happy. They're not like this entertainment system. Like, like, oh, make me happy. No, that's an inside thing. And you have to make a conscious decision that I do want happiness. And what type of things can I do to turn this around how I'm feeling, because no one else is responsible for your feelings.
That's true.
So if you're not happy, then what changes need to be made? What can you do about it?
True.
So
And that's so profound what you said. Like your spouse is not there to make you happy. Like they're a joker or they jackal, like dance, I want to be entertained. Like that's unfair, and that's heavy for someone else to carry.
that's heavy.
That's too heavy. Like you got to be happy in yourself, and happy is subjective. Like what makes you happy may not be what I consider happy. Like somebody could be doing something to help someone be happy, but they really don't enjoy it. Like
Because
they
everybody have different love
yeah,
languages.
yeah. So you actually doing something as a sacrifice to help you, but if it's not enough, then it's just not enough. Like so, the habits is what you're referring to is communication. To know that you let off the one thing, it's many things, but the one thing that you brought up was communication. To know that you was able to release some anger, some fears, or some insecurities, or some weaknesses, or some whatever to your spouse about whatever any issue it is, or whether it's just venting. That's a freeing feeling. That's a freeing feeling, and what comes after that freeing, liberating feeling is a joy,
Yeah.
which it leads to happiness. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I believe that you brought up the one was communication, and there's many others.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
and
what
then
is another one that you think is
a
a
good
habit of happy couples?
a good healthy habit is having a routine for marital care. Like marital care, meaning that maybe your marital care is at 9 p.m., 8 p.m., or 10 p.m. You guys are sitting and doing a devotional, or maybe you guys are hashing out your day, or maybe you guys are releasing some issues that maybe been on the table that you haven't been able to talk about, or maybe a happy is you guys, because some in some instances there are people persons in a marriage where some things are more important than the opposite parent, opposite spouse, right? So
Mhm.
my wife's love language could be, I want to see how secure we are financially, and us talking that through and seeing that we're making progress to some of our goals could be a part of her joy, right? And that's a part of the marital self-care, getting into a rhythm and routine of having conversations or doing actions or activities that stimulate the opposite spouse, or both spouse. Like
Mhm.
that's I think that's a good habit to have. Like what are we doing this week? What are we doing next week? What are we doing today to kind of nourish our relationship?
Yeah.
And you know what? To me, and I've said this so many times, that there's so many changes going on with me, my wife, to recognize that I see the changes in you, this to be able to adjust. I think that's a happiness. Like, dang, I appreciate you allowing me to be free,
What you mean,
allowing me
like
to
what?
me to grow. Like in relationships, sometimes we put a stamp and a QR code on a date and time,
Mhm.
and things are happening. Hairs are getting gray, health is diminishing daily, right?
Mhm.
So we constantly look at the person that we first married and not seeing how this person has grown, what they need today. And
Mhm.
for your spouse to liberate you and free you, like, I see the changes that you're making, and I want you to be your best self. And I'm
Mhm.
going to make the adjustments along with you making the adjustments to do different things.
Yeah.
Because what I liked at 28 when we got married, I don't necessarily like anymore. Like I don't like it.
Right.
Like don't timestamp me to the 7 years when we first started to the 7 years now. Like my whole mindset has changed. Like I
Yeah.
some things I don't even care about. So when your spouse can really make those adjustments to see that you're making some changes and move with them and not combat them, like, oh, well, when did you start doing that, or when did you start liking that, where did you see that at, and just roll with me. I'm seeing things different every day, and I think I like it. Like my wife just bought me, she called them purses, but I never wanted to, but I never thought I'd wear them, right? but it's a
Well,
fashion. It's a
I
thing.
bought it only after I saw you with one.
Right. But what I'm saying is that was a change in me. Like, I kind of like that. But if you'd have held me to like, man, I never wear that. I don't want to do that. That looks kind of corny. But
Mhm.
now like, I want to try it. But if I'd have got this,
Well, we was in New Orleans, and this most recent time, because we always in New Orleans now that our baby is at Xavier. But yeah, we were getting ready to go catch our flight, and I seen him put this thing on, and I was like, check him out. I didn't even know he had purchased it. And so it was one of them chest packs. Like it could be a waist bag, a waist pack, or a chest pack, however you want to carry it. And so I was like, oh, I didn't know he liked that. I'm gonna buy him
I
some
didn't
more.
even know I liked it. I was like, oh, okay, this is
Because
kind
you
of
know
cool.
what happens? A lot of the time we'll go somewhere and it's put this in your purse, put this in your purse. So I'm like, good. I'm glad he like it. So now he could be having his own stuff. Keep up with your own stuff, your own chapstick, your
No,
own,
I think that's the other way around. Put this in your book bag. Put this in
in
your
your book bag when we're
yeah,
traveling. But I'm saying on
yeah.
a daily basis, you don't have a book bag, babe.
I don't.
And so therefore you be telling me, here, hold this. So after I saw he liked it, that's a different change for him. And so now he have 3 of them.
I do, and I like them because now my pockets are free. Like I don't have to have nothing in my
A
pocket.
bulge.
Yeah, I don't like to have my
That
wallet in my
wallet.
pocket. I don't have to have nothing in my pocket. And I'm like, man, this feels kind of good. You know what I'm saying? My pants is slimming up a little bit more, so I'm like, I don't have to have nothing in my pocket. So
But then you not used to keeping it because when we was just out on 4th of July, you just left it on the table. Ladies don't leave their purses and go.
I
Like
don't
the
have a
purse
purse. It's
comes
not
with
a
them.
purse.
Right, but it's a chest pack, whatever it is, it's yours. You wouldn't just leave your wallet on the table. So you got to get in the habit of taking that with you. Lucky I was sitting there, but
Yeah, but
you
that's the reason why I put it there. But the
so
but the main point,
I could watch his
but the main point
chest
was
pack.
the changes that I see. Like, oh, okay, I want to make this change and not get that. Oh, well, why you want to do that? Where did you see that? Who you see that? Why you like that? Instead, just hey,
I just
we,
embraced it and
hey,
bought
that's
him
what I
some
do.
more. I bought him 2 more.
So that's a part of happy that your spouse
You
that
allowing them to embrace who they want to be or becoming and the changes that they want to do. Yeah, I
bingo.
never even said nothing about it. I just observed and adjust.
Bingo. Bingo. That's too. Allowing your spouse to make the changes and adjust, and the communication is a part of healthy habits.
Healthy habits of happy couple. Hey now. Healthy habits of happy couples. So we have said communication, allowing them to grow with no judgment. What else?
I think that was the two.
Having you were saying something about having priorities in your marriage or something.
No, I didn't say prior. Oh well,
Yeah,
prioritizing time with your spouse. And some of this stuff sounds cliche, but it's really necessary
it is.
in your marriage. You got to think, especially if you had kids. Kids become like a wedge in between you and your marriage that you don't even see,
Mm-hmm.
because it becomes a part of your marriage that when like we see like when our daughter went off to college, you can see the dynamic of the house is different because you don't have that noise, you don't have that responsibility of you need to be here, we have to make sure this child have to get this place and that place, and that becomes like, oh, okay, now we have to fill our time with the space that this child put in our place, and that they took away because they left, right? So now you like, oh, okay, well, what we gonna do with this time? So now we watching more shows, and we keep going upstairs into the bed earlier because you don't have the kids have to have all of these issues, and they got to say this, they want to talk about this, and they got to come home from the practices and stuff like that. So prioritizing yourself and your marriage, like that's definitely, because man, you spend so much time at work, you spend so much time with your kids, and then the person that you left with is your spouse.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I feel sorry for the different couples that focus just on the children, because you have to give your marriage some priority too, because once these children grow up, baby, Maya been home. I think she done ate dinner with us twice the whole summer
Yeah.
so far, because she be on the go. So you know what I'm saying. Your children, they're gonna grow up. They're gonna get their own lives, and they're gonna be just running the streets, doing whatever they want to do. And where would you be if you don't even know that person who you're sharing a bed with? Because you all haven't made a
Yeah.
priority all these years. And then it'll be like a shock. Like, if I didn't like know this man and I'm saying no, like, we constantly made priority of date night. We constantly made priority to check in with each other, to go to counseling, to go to therapy, to talk to each other. So therefore, throughout this 7 years, but imagine if that's not stuff that we were doing along the way. And then boom, the kids move out. And we like, whoa, I'm just noticing he made all these changes. And it's like a culture shock almost. So, yeah, I just really think you should prioritize your marriage and your relationship. And prioritize your kids. They are part of a priority
Yeah.
too. But your marriage does come first. I mean, that's just facts. I mean, it's God, marriage, spouse, children, everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it
And
is.
we've been advocates of getting counseling for your marriage. But my biggest thing with counseling, I have no problem with counseling, is that we have to learn as a community of lawfully wedded couples to be able to um have conflict resolution and
Mm-hmm.
have emotional dialogue with one another without having to have a third party all the time,
That's true.
because it's just you two. And if you have to wait until
Yeah,
you
until
to
Thursday, and it's some
yeah,
today,
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah, if
Saturday.
you have to wait until
Yeah.
the counseling date, or you got to wait until a third party is in the room, that's going to be a very miserable, to me, that's a very miserable marriage,
Yeah,
that you need a third party
at
to
all times.
to hash out
It's
issues.
no problem. Like, I do believe it's we, but I am definitely an advocate of counseling and therapy and a third party. However, you do have to have the ability and the capability to solve some of your own problems, because in the end, that person is gonna basically be a listening ear and maybe a referee, a sounding board, but all in all, y'all taking that ride back home together,
Really.
and you're gonna see that person in 2 to 3 more weeks. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, you do have to have problem solving skills within yourself and conflict resolution within your marriage to be able to solve some of your own problems. So absolutely. And you know what, for anybody who's listening, put in the comments, like, what do you do with your spouse to keep your marriage healthy and happy? What do you do? Like, what are some of the ways that you keep your marriage healthy and happy? Put that in the comments. And
And I would say for a third or a fourth, I don't know which number we was on,
for
but sex is very important.
yeah.
Like there is no other like connection greater with the huge amount of energy that it takes than sex. I think you guys, or marriages, should have more sex.
They not having enough sex.
I'm not saying that they're not. I mean, let's be clear. Like, when you married, sometimes you don't feel like it's the priority, because this person that you have forever with them. Like, what's the rush? But there should be a big rush, because things ain't gonna stay the same. Gravity is taking place as we speak, and everything ain't working the same way they was when they first started. So prioritize sex
Okay, how much sex? How much sex should the people be having?
I think that a lot of it should be happening. Like a lot of sex should be happening. Like for real.
What do you say when you say a lot? Like what is an amount, like a weekly amount that you think people should be having?
There are 7 days in a week. So I would say at least 3/4 of that week, it should be some sex going on. It should be. It should.
Everyone listening, guess what? My husband may be a sexaholic.
No, it's not a sexaholic. It's not a sexaholic. It's just the truth. What are you waiting on? You're not getting no younger. You're getting older, and have sex. Why not?
Have sex. Have it. Have it, everyone. Have the sex.
That's a healthy habit. It's to have sex.
Have sex. Have sex.
What else? Sex. That's what should be happening.
Okay, and we gonna wrap it up with number 5. What's the 5th thing to keep a marriage healthy and happy? I think is keeping the outside. Keep the outside. I just think that I've made that mistake in my marriage, and I'm sorry for it. Sharing a little too much information, or going outside of my front door with an issue that I may have. You feel me? So with that being said, I just know that it doesn't always end well when you have outside parties in your ear and in your situation. Whatever is going on, everybody needs somebody to talk to though. So that's fine as long as somebody that loves you. But outside of that, I just really feel at this stage in my life, I'm in a different age bracket, mental capacity bracket, and I just feel like I need to leave the outside in order for me to be happy, because sometimes those voices can come and they saying something that may help their marriage. It may not be a benefit to yours because your spouse isn't their spouse, and maybe whatever worked for them may not work for you.
Right.
So, I just feel like the best thing I've been doing is having regular counseling and therapy sessions in which I can vent, and I know it ain't going nowhere. I know it ain't no judgment there, and I just like that. So I advocate for counseling.
Because this is the truth. 80% of people is glad that it's you, and the 20% is don't care.
It's people that care. I don't agree with
I'm
that.
saying people don't look. The truth is, a lot of people do not care.
A lot of people don't care, but I'm not saying it's the way you said it was 80 and 20. Like, where's the people that care?
Nobody's waking up caring about your marriage and issues of your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said 80% is glad it's you that got that problem, and it ain't in my marriage that I got that problem. And the other 20% really don't care, because that's not my marriage. Like, I don't care. I'm not. A lot of people say, "Well, I'm not dealing with that. Well, I ain't got them problems." Oh, okay.
But you got something.
But you got something. And then and look, I'm saying for their marriage, whatever they tell me, I'm glad I ain't got that problem. I don't deal with that. I'm glad that's you. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't got that problem. So that's what I say. And that's a quote from Les Brown. 80% glad it's you, 20% they just don't care. So
okay, Les Brown. We just want to thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight.
Yes, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. And this is just, Candid with the Meeks. We just healthy habits of marriage. Healthy habits
of happiness.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.